आदान्यस्य कृतवान् बहुविधत्वादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिति प्रतिपादयन्तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यमहं नमामि। पूज्य राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च पतितां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे आपादमणिपर्यन्तं गुरूणामाप्तिं स्मरेत् तेन विघ्नाः प्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धिं मनोरथाः। हरिः ओं श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। Yesterday was Guru Purnima occasion. Do special namaskaras once again to Acharya Madhva and Sri Vedavyasa and the entire Guru Parampara have been guiding us in all respects by giving proper instigation from inside and by making us go through the scriptures that they have contributed to. So in every respect, we are being guided by them. So our goal is to acquire the correct kind of knowledge, correct form of knowledge. So this is what we have been trying to do. And there was one request last time to give the meaning of the sloka that we say at the end. So I'll just briefly tell that and then proceed with the Bhagavad Gita briefly, because on the occasion of the Guru Purnima also, that will be a good thing to talk about. We say Prata Prabhuti Sayantam Sayadi Prataram Tatha Yat Karomi Jagannatha Tadastu Tava Pujanam. From morning to evening, whatever we do, let that be our puja. But that, on the surface of it, hey, I just walk, go something, see some movie. How can that be a puja? So, Prataha Prabhuti, starting right from in the morning, Sayantam, until the evening. So, Prataha Prabhuti Sayantam, Sayadi Prataram Tata, again from evening to morning, morning to evening, evening to morning. Yat Karomi Jagannatha Tadastu Tava Pujam. Whatever I do, let it be your puja. The purpose of that is, I do some other activities, let that become the puja, is not what the goal is, because that doesn't make any sense. What it means is, even when I do some other, like, we go do something, talk to people, whatever, back of our mind, we have to think of Paramatma. This association with these people, these circumstances, these facilities, whatever we came across, it is given by Paramatma. So thinking about Paramatma, thinking about the people who think about Paramatma, Sajjanas, Sajjana Sangha, Satsanga, all that. So that means actually it's like a parallel process. Whatever we are doing from morning to evening, evening to morning, along with that, like a parallel process, let the puja type of feeling, while doing puja, we think of Paramatma. Same way, while doing other activities also, we think of Paramatma. That doesn't mean we ignore or okay, when I go purchase some vegetables in the market, think of God means, oh, how this vegetable is created. We don't have to think like that, like bit by bit. But a back of the mind, all this is the glory of Paramatma. He has given it to us. He has created such a wonderful universe. So this thought process, which goes parallel, that is the puja. So not the other activities becomes the puja. Along with the other activities, the anusandhana, the manasika chintane, the thought about Paramatma, that is in the form of the puja, goes parallel with other things. So we don't give up any other activities. Doesn't mean that mundane activities we give up everything and go with the puja. That's not what it is. So we do parallelly think about Paramatma. So that is what it is. So Prata Prabhuti Sayantam Sayadi Prataram Tata Yatkaromi Jagannatha Tadastu Tava Pujanam Prata Kaladikam Karma Nitya Naimittikam Tatha Keshavaradhanarthaya Karishyeham Tavagnaya. This is also Prata Kaladikam Karma Nitya Naimittikam Tatha. So from morning to evening, we do karmas, various types of karma. There are some are Nitya karmas, some are Naimitya karmas. What are Nitya and what are Naimitya? Nitya is the regularly what, it need not be every day. Like what we do Sandhyavandana, like things, they're all Nitya also. Along with that, suppose we do every month some puja. That becomes a Nitya. Nitya means regularly performed. And Naimittika, occasionally, okay, on some special occasions like Ganesh Chaviti or whatever, some special puja that we perform based upon Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, whatever. So that they are called Naimittika, that's Nimitta, with a particular intention and goal we perform. So all kinds of activities we perform. So Pratak Kala Adikam Karma Nitya Naimittikam Tatha Keshavaradhanarthaya Karishyeham Tavagnyaya. Here also, Tava Agnya, Lord Paramatma has given Agnya to us. Not only that you do puja and all these things, you have to do Jivana Yatra. We say, Sharira Madhya Khalu Dharma Sadhanam. The body is needed for doing the sadhana. So, for doing the sadhana, the Jivana Yatra has to be done. So, this is also a Agnya or the order from Paramatma. So Keshava Radhanathaya Karishyeham Tava Agnyaya. By your own command, I perform all the activities, but the ultimate goal is to do Keshava Aradhana, Paramatma's Chintane. So the Aradhana means it does not mean that whatever we do regularly Aradhana, there are Aradhana, of course. Not only that, whatever the feeling of worship that we have in our daily activities, that is also a kind like is little similar to the previous sloka. Is not because a continuation of the previous sloka. The same thought, just presented a little differently. That's all. So it's a similar thing. So basically, daily in all other activities also we have to think of Paramatma. That is the ultimate goal. So that is the purpose of the slokas. And then now we'll come back to Bhagavad Gita. We are doing the second Adhyaya, and there we talked about the sloka Esha te bhita sankhe buddhi yoge tvimamshunu buddhya yukto eya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Our ultimate goal is to go to moksha. For that, bondage of the karma has to be overcome. While doing that, we do the worship of Paramatma. The question comes to our mind. There are so many other devatas are also there, like Rudra is there. And even Kshudra devatas like Mariamma, Shungala. What do people do worship of some other devatas also, Grama devatas or whatever. Why not do that also? Or why not just do that and why should we only do Paramatma's Seva, Paramatma's Puja? Why can't we do some other devatas Puja also instead of Paramatma Puja? Or do both of them? Kshuddha Devata Upasana also and Paramatma Upasana. Both. Why can't we do both? Or why can't we do just Kshuddha? Because they are very easy to please them. The small little devatas that are there, you do something with a desire to get something, you get it right away, or something happens. You see, oh, by doing this Grama Devata Puja, or Grama Devata, basically village deity puja, I am getting my things fulfilled. So I rather do that than going with Paramatma. Why should I do? Paramatma gets pleased very slowly. He expects us to do for a long time. These other devatas, they get pleased even very short time. So I might as well go with them. Why not? Why go with Paramatma only? This kind of doubts come to the mind. So that is answered. नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात्. All the other devatas, in Gita, as we advance, we will also go progress. We see, even when we worship other devatas, they are not swatantra. They give the results as per the command of Paramatma only. They are subservient to Paramatma. So instead of going to them, it's better to go to the big boss, Paramatma. One thing. Second thing, Paramatma is a highly compassionate and tolerant one. Whatever mistakes we do, he is very forgiving. While doing something goes wrong, he is forgiving. Or we do halfway, we do for 10 days, we do a lot of puja, bhajana, everything for Paramatma. Then we get busy for another 1 month, we don't do anything. Paramatma, oh, he has forgotten me. Let me just punish him. That kind of attitude Paramatma does not have. Even if we do a little about Paramatma's worship service or whatever, Paramatma not only gets pleased, suppose we stop it, he doesn't get upset about it. Because he's Swatantra, for him no benefit. Our doing puja to him doesn't benefit. Lot of Paramatma wants us all to praise him so that he can get good feeling about it. No, it's not, because he's Nitya Ananda Purna. For him, our praising or doing stotra to him, all that will not help Paramatma at all. He is not interested in any of that. He is so compassionate that he will excuse every mistakes that we do. And not only that, suppose we are required to do certain amount of some puja or something, we do very partially, only 1/10 of it. Paramatma gives result for that proportionately. In the sense, even a little we do, he gives a good result for that, because his goal is not to just get praised. His goal is to help every jiva. That is his, goal means Paramatma, of course, is nirlipta, but still compassionate, generous, is karunamaya. So he wants everybody to be benefited, or everybody to progress. That's what Paramatma wants. So he will help every single jiva in the best possible way. But that doesn't mean without doing anything, Paramatma gives the result. That the best thing. Why can't he do that? Means no. That is against the very basis of karma, and that's also partiality. Suppose somebody does a lot of hard work, give him all the result. Somebody doesn't do anything, give him also all the result. That becomes a what we call Vaishamya dosha. Now, the Paramatma does not have Nairgunya Vaishamya dosha. What are these Nairgunya Vaishamya? Means Sama is equal. Visama, it becomes Vishama. Sakara becomes, because of some rules, it becomes Vishama. So that Bhava is Vaishamya. That means treating different people in different ways. That is a flaw, right? That does not mean, this is a very tricky thing. Treating everybody equally does not mean exactly giving the same thing for everybody. That is actually real inequality. For example, suppose a teacher conducts some running race competition. Somebody runs first, somebody runs second, third, fourth. So the teacher is impartial. He gives first prize to first prize, second prize to second prize. Like that, he gives various prizes. Suppose the teacher gives first prize to everybody. It doesn't matter how behind you are, everybody. Then people will say, what is this? Something wrong with this teacher. He gives first prize. The person worked so hard, he got first prize. Somebody who's way behind, he also gets the first prize. Everybody gets the first prize. This teacher is not doing properly. Is not equal. He is giving equal result. They say it's not equal. Equality means giving appropriately. That is the real equality. So Paramatma, he does not have Vaishamya dosha. That means he does not have partiality to anybody. And Nairghunya means Gruna, Karuna. Nairghunya means not having Karuna. That is cruelty. Paramatma is not a cruel type also. He's a compassionate and he's impartial. Both compassionate, impartial. That is why Paramatma, he says, he's so compassionate. He says, okay, at least you have a desire to do something good. Even for that, I'll give some result. Of course, it is not the best result, but person gets benefited even a little desire to do it, good act. That also gives good phala. That much compassionate Paramatma is. That's why Neha Abhikrama Nashosti, Abhikrama means you begin and then you halfway stop. There, no nasha, no nashta, no loss, nothing. Paramatma will not give any loss. Pratyavaya na vidyate. Oh, pratyavaya means something harmful. Oh, this guy ditched halfway. Let me punish him. That kind of a pratyavaya is a harm. Paramatma will not cause any harm also. Pratyavaya na vidyate. Salpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So this Abhikramana, Madhvacharya explains Abhikramana Ashos. Even doing a little is good enough means Arambha matram ichhava. You start an act, or even the very desire to do something, just starting it, doing it a little bit, doing it half of it, doing 3/4 of it, completing the task. everything has its own proportionate way of giving or yielding the results to the performer. That much compassion. So basically, this is talking about the impartiality, compassion, and uniformity of Paramatma and non-cruelty. He is never cruel to people. So this is what is conveyed by this. So Krishna, this is a very, very nice verse because this is one that gives assurance, point blank assurance to all the devotees. Look, here is Krishna standing, giving guarantee and assurance. This is that kind of a sloka. So it gives a very nice message. This is the 40th sloka in the second adhyaya. This concept is a very nice concept, and we'll continue the next concept in this adhyaya. Hare Srinivasa. Any questions are there? You can feel free to ask Hare Srinivasa.
धन्यवाद श्री केशव राव.
Dhanyawad Acharya. Thank you for explaining the meaning of the shloka and the explanation of the verse you read at the end of the session. It's very it was very interesting to understand it. It was going so fast. So it's really nice. Thank you very much. Dhanyawad Acharya. Namaskar.
Hare Srinivasa.
I have two questions.
Yeah.
The first question is the second verse that we recite at the end, is that from the Pratah Sankalpa Gadya?
No, the ones that is the Prata Prabhuti Sayantam Sayadi Prataram. That one, right? You are talking about that? That's not from Prata Sankalpa Gadya. Yeah, basically that is independently told, just general prayer slokas. So it is not from, it's probably one of the Purana Vachanas or somewhere, which has come into the Sampradaya. So it is not from Prata Sankalpa Gadya or anything, but it is from the Sampradaya. People started telling in the morning, like a morning prayer. So that's
the other question I have is this Niha Vikramanosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpamasya Dharmasya. So here Swalpamasya Dharmasya, can you explain just a little bit more on what that means? And
Sure. Yeah. Actually, I thought I'll continue next, but I'll explain today also. Swalpamapi, even a little. Asya dharma. See what dharma? This Vaishnava, the dharma means basically showing the devotion to Paramatma. That is the dharma. So even if we perform that a little, it protects us. Mahato bhayat trayate. The fear is enormous. Oh, I did a very little, but the fear is like a big, huge mountain. So this very little thing, can it take away that huge amount of fear that I have? Because to get rid of that huge amount of fear, I have to do a huge amount of sadhana. I have to pray for long time, do long prayers. Then only my big fear will go away. So for getting rid of the big fear, if I do very little, can I get rid of the big fear? Means yes. That's why. So because this is actually a confidence seed. So even if we do a very little, swalpamapi, means very little, a small amount of this dharma sadhana. Basically, what is dharma? Vaishnava dharma, doing, worshipping Vishnu as all supreme being. That even if, because Paramatma is not that how much we did, of course it matters, but when we do very little, the Paramatma's grace, he is enormous, he is huge, he is a big, enormous being. So he will remove the fear. So the fear is removed not because we did a very little or more. That's not the question. How much confident we are. So Swalpamapi, even if we do very little, dharma, oh, I am following dharma to the best of my ability. I did very little, but I am confident that this little thing will save me from big, huge fear. So Mahato Bhayat Rayate Swalpamapi dharma. Even if I do a little, the huge amount of fear will go away because of the Karunya, grace of Paramatma. As I said, this sloka is basically assurance, guarantee, and compassion of Paramatma. That's what this sloka reflects.
Okay. So next time, would you be able to tell us some drishtant, some examples? Because what is the fear?
Yeah, we,
Here we are talking about.
yeah, we will talk about the next class. What we'll talk about, we'll take up some examples.
Yeah.
How, small amount of thing can remove our huge big fears.
Yes.
From Puranas. Now let me see where we can get some examples. We'll cover that next class, sure.
Okay, धन्यवाद. Many sastang namaskar.
Namaskar.
Namaskar, Hare Srinivasa.
Hare Srinivasa.
We'll do the prayer and then conclude. No more
Yeah.
questions are
Sure.
there.
Yeah. Prata prabhuti sayantam
Sai-
sayadi prataram
Tataha
tatha yat karomi jagannatha tadastu tava pujanam prata kaladikam karma nitya naimittikam tatha keshavaradhanarthaya karishyeham tavagnyaya. Hare Srinivasa.
Hare Srinivasa sastang namaskar. Namaha.
Namaskar.
Dhanyawad Acharya. Thank you.
Dhanyawad.